Good evening and welcome to Conscious Gatherers. My name is Beverly Thompson and I'm here with AJ Royce.
Good evening.
Today's date is December the 13th, 2022, and this is our 83rd episode. And we do have a name for this episode. We usually don't know what that's going to be until after we're done, trying to figure out what we're going to talk about. And because a lot of things pop up while we are recording the show. But the title of this episode is The New Jerusalem. And we have some things to share that came through today that was like, oh, wow.
Eventful day.
A very eventful day. So we're going to share a good part of that with you tonight. So anyway, regarding the New Jerusalem, before we totally get started on this, because I was asking Royce, didn't we already do an episode on this? And since we've done 82 episodes, we did go back, and episode 35 is called Shaken Belief Systems and the New Jerusalem. And so we did talk about this, and that was January, I believe, or February of 2021.
It was February.
Okay, so it's almost 2 years ago. And you can, reiterate some of what you saw a couple years ago in your vision.
Oh, yes. I saw myself as if I was actually in Jerusalem in ancient times. I was at the top of a large set of stairs that were hewn out of solid rock. It was some type of it looked like a temple structure, actually, but I only saw the stairs. I went around this corner, something drew my attention to the sky, and so I looked up and I see this beautiful thing coming in my direction. It was like an oval or an egg shape. It was looked rather a lot like a geode, as we know geodes to look now. But it was coming out of the sky, so it was more like, I guess, meteor kind of thing. And the colors were striking. They were deep, rich colors, sapphire blues to the all the way to brown. Everything in between. It was just gorgeous, like 15th century colors of artwork. And in the center, when I first saw it, I sang the first line of the Holy City, which is, last night I lay a-sleeping, and I sat down on the steps just in awe, watching this thing getting closer and closer. And in the center of it was like the peaks of mountains, except it looked to be made out of solid silver. And my mind interpreted what I was seeing as dwelling places. And it was like what I was witnessing was New Jerusalem getting closer and closer. So that was what the vision was. It was just a lot of it is beyond putting into words, because it was outrageously beautiful and totally unexpected.
Okay, we're going to share a little bit more on what both of us received at the same time, and we always question, are we going to get something similar? In fact, I was telling my son this tonight. I said, of course, they intertwined, and he says, of course, coming from a source, same source, something like those words. I went, yeah, okay. But anyway, in this vision that you had, I mean, you have a feel of what this actually is and represents. I mean, it's the New Jerusalem, but
a whole new, I guess you could call it paradigm, whole new setup, whole new everything, awakened state from being asleep. It's really difficult to put it into words. Something brand new and just so beyond expectations that it just took my breath away.
It's like the beauty of this, or do you feel it was an actual physical object that would bring a new paradigm to Earth, or it is us, or is it to stretch our consciousness?
Well, those kind of is it either or kind of questions usually turns out to be both.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess my answer to that is yeah.
I get it. All right. Well, maybe we'll get a little more information as we share what word by word of what came to us today. And you ready to get into that?
Yeah.
By the way, you may want to go back to our episode 35 on shaken belief systems in the New Jerusalem. And there's a lot explained in that. And in fact, we listened to a little bit of that before this podcast. And both said it's pretty good. To pat ourselves on the back, but it's really a lot of good information there. So we advise you to go back and listen to that.
Yes, and Terry was a part of that broadcast as well.
Yeah, and he saw it as a shift in consciousness, which, of course, this is what this is all about.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready? All right. After the meditation, or during whatever, I received the following words. Again, this is today. It said, "In the coming days, you shall witness great changes in your skies. Your perceptions of life shall change. What you will see are the sparks of creation unfolding in front of your eyes. It is as if it was or is the wave of a magic wand. It indeed is your Christmas season, which is a magical time for some. This will be different. This covering of light shall further break down systems of old, not to return. It will be likened to a light storm." I like that one. "Most people on earth will witness this. A few will not. It will be felt and heard. It will seem as a choir of angels descend from your skies." So prior to even receiving those words, I heard the word sound, the harmonics of light, which I think we talked about way back and before Royce joined us in earlier episodes of, what is light, what is sound, and they're much the same thing in different aspects of the same. Is that a fair way to say it?
I think so.
Okay. All right. I went on further and got this information. It is not over. The changes happening now on your earth plane, exposing the absolute corruption that has gone on for a few millennia. Hold fast, dear ones. The time is ripe for full disclosure. The horror and ghastliness will soon fade as you witness this new earth in all its glory. Yes, prepare, yet leave open your hearts and minds to bring in this New Jerusalem. It has been spoken, therefore it is. So in previous episodes, we've talked a little bit about some of the things that will be happening. And I'm hearing that it's happening now with things being exposed, the Twitter. I think most of you listening to this are very familiar to, I think there's been 5 Twitter drops so far.
At least.
Yeah, as of last night. I don't know about today. We talked about military rule or military will help those. And because we'll be without a government. And so, indeed, I've been seeing that basically go down. And that is both the Republicans, many of the Republicans and the Democrats. So just the corrupt ones that are not there supporting us, the populace. And it's time for them to step aside, and they will be forced to step aside, including our one that serves as president and vice president and House Speaker, etc. So some of you, again, most of you listening to this, I think are not surprised at me saying that, but some of you may be or may not agree with it. So it's up to you, but I want to get more of this out just so people aren't so surprised and shocked at what they're going to find out, because I've heard some, ghastliness, that word that was given to me earlier. It is ghastly. And however, from what we got today, I think it'll start subsiding rather quickly, more quickly than most people will realize, because of our movement into the higher realms and our shift in consciousness that's going on.
Yes, and what's happening now is the undoing of corruptness that has been here a long time, as you said, millennia. Mm-hmm. So it's nothing new. It's not something that these people invented yesterday. It's been going on a long time. So we have been asleep a long time.
And asleep means, we've gone, I mention it again, the great experiment. What is that? And it is, what is it like to be separate from source, because we are source, but feel separate from source. And so we have put this source out there. God's out there. And it's still going on. It's okay. I mean, it's people getting used to the idea how powerful we truly are, and how powerful we are. More so getting, not quite
awakening
to within us, yes, and it's awakening within us, yes, and our whole body, everything is becoming more light.
Yeah, and like when I had that vision, I see this thing coming toward me, and what came out of my mouth, I started singing the words, "Last night I lay a-sleeping."
Oh.
And so I think that's a big clue right there. It's like, last night I lay a-sleeping, but I'm awake now.
Wow.
So that just dawned on me.
Dawn.
How about that?
Dawn, even the word dawn. So that will bring us to the dawn. Okay. Wow. All right. You want to share what you received, and then we can go into some questions and discussion.
Sure. During the meditation, I received a discourse delivered by the Intergalactic League of Nations. It began by, I saw this purple box, and what I knew that purple box related to was our innate royalty. And this is what followed.
And that's, when you say our, that means all of us.
All of us. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as like was spoken about in the Treaty of Peace that was read last episode, the chosen seed.
We all are the chosen seed.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, here is the discourse. Do not assume yourselves to be anything less than royalty. And how could you be otherwise? You are the divine seeds of light. It is time to step up to the stature of your inner being instead of stepping down to assume the role, a bit part, in some lesser play, a play which is ancient and therefore outdated, and at this point, a detriment to your well-being. The cards have been laid upon the table, but the cards are old, and so is the table. The time of such implements has ended. Your answers are within, and your guidance is as your inner voice telling you to follow the light within your own heart. The light within your own heart, a beacon shining from a lantern designed by the Ancient of Days. From the inception of the humankind, the designs of a city was set forth. That city is none other than New Jerusalem. And who shall reside within that city but you? Arise, my dearly beloveds, for your hearts have brought you to this place, this moment in time, when the plays of men have all run their course, and the folly of ignorance has reached its weary end. There is a much greater work to be done, for all the children who lost their way are in need of a gentle yet strong helping hand to assist the weary in regaining their strength. This is the time you have awaited. This is the moment to adorn yourselves with purple garments, befitting the lineage and stature of who you really are, as opposed to who you were pretending to be. And so ended the discourse. So we need to wake up and smell the coffee. Get on with it. We've got work to do.
We got work to do. Yeah. Remember, each of us is royalty, talking about the purple garment. Mm-hmm. So when you see the purple color, you start remember that. So it's going to be one of those signs that we give ourselves, and pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention to those little nudges that we get, and we all get them, and we question them. At least I do, and I'll challenge them, and then I laugh at myself, like, "What'd you do that for?" But it's something I had to prove to myself. But just it's interesting seeing the color purple, and and children. What's their favorite colors? Girls, especially.
Most of the time, it's purple or pink, which is in the same line.
Yeah. So I didn't think about that until just now. Why are they so drawn to purple or to pink? Is it the love vibration that comes from that? The purple, as in the royalty, and also talk about the violet or the violet flame, as that is washes you or cleans out the old, and then you just wear that. That would be the violet, but then that purple is like wearing it proudly because it is you.
Yeah. The purple it changes the way you feel about yourself. To have a truly deep, rich purple garment on is just amazing. That movie, The Color Purple, came to mind. And what was it that the lady said about? She thought that if people looked at a field of purple flowers and they didn't notice, it really pissed off God. It's like there's something special about this color,
because that's within you. I'm attracted to some of the artwork on lavender fields. I mean, having artists, especially Italian artists, because there's a lot of lavender fields, I believe, in Italy, and they're all just beautiful. It's not overwhelming purple, but it's some purple.
Yeah.
And I think it can get overwhelmed. I've been an interior designer for a long time, and I was thinking, how would I like to be in a purple room, all purple? And it'd be probably a little too much. But having a few items here and there is uplifting. And again, it pulls out the royalty that we already are.
And when I was a little girl, I was asked what color I wanted my bedroom to be. Purple.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was.
Listen to the children. They'll let you know. They don't have many filters either.
That's right.
So,
or if they do, they choose not to use them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so refreshing. Whatever they say, I'm like, things I want to look at within myself, and they'll definitely let you know. Anyway, just looking at this whole shift in consciousness that is going on, it's really incredible. Even though that we're seeing a lot of ugly out there, and it's like, all right, I'm done with ugly.
But the ugly it's been there the whole time, back in the shadows, under the covers, hidden out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to get rid of it, it has to bubble to the surface. We have to be able to see it in order to get rid of it, to acknowledge that it has been there. And we took a part in all of it. So,
yeah. And
we've decided we don't want it anymore.
It's pretty, excuse me. It is, talking about prepare, open your heart's mind to bring in the New Jerusalem. So some of these things that are coming out is going to be pretty shocking. And I know enough that I can't look at some of the stuff that will come out. It's
vile.
I just send out love. And by the way, that's something I was doing the other day. I was, where we live, we've had rain, seems like daily for like a week. And I'm not pointing the blame at anything, but it's like dreary. And I was watching a couple films that are out, and one's called Died Suddenly, which is an interesting movie, for those that have not seen it. I just leave it at that, and you can look it up if you want to see it. But anyway, I was feeling kind of blah, and letting things bother me. And then I catch myself, and I would say, "What are you doing to yourself?" And so I literally just stop at that point and wash myself in the column of white light.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can start at the feet, you can start at the head or the heart, bringing in the heart, or extend it from the heart to cover your body. And I tell you, it works.
Yeah, I usually start from above my head coming down, and then pull it back up after it's gone all the way through going down. Then pull it back up, and shoo-wee, that's when I really feel the grossness lift off, is when it's pulled up.
Okay, good. Thank you. Because if you do feel that way, if you are feeling nervous about something, or you are feeling down, what you received today about being, I forget how you said it, something about, it's right in here, about being lesser than. It's not the words that you...
a lesser play?
Yeah.
Taking part in a lesser play. Let me find that.
So it was an affront to God, not the words you used. And what is the God? God is us, all of us, together, all in one, capital O-N-E. So, and she's going to find it here in a moment. Following where I was going to go with this whole thing, is to realize this. And yes, loved ones are leaving us, and that will continue. Bless them, because you don't die. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. You just move out of your vessel. And so it is hard for those of us that are in the physical to let go of those that we love dearly that are no longer with us in the physical, so we can see them face to face. However, that could change. I'm not sure how that's going to happen in the New Jerusalem. Okay.
I found that part where it's the lesser thing. It is time to step up to the stature of your inner being instead of stepping down to assume the role, a bit part, in some lesser play, a play which is ancient and therefore outdated, and at this point, a detriment to your well-being.
Wow.
Is that what you were referring to? Okay.
Detriment to your well-being. So remember that.
Yeah, and it's sad to say, there are moments when we choose to be unhappy.
Oh yeah, we do.
It's like I'm having my pity party, and I invited myself, and I'm going to stay here, and that's just the way it goes until you get tired of that party and you decide to step out.
I don't like to be there long.
No.
I have been there, and it's like, oh, okay, let's get out of this.
Yeah.
Especially the holiday time. So, where the memories come up, the decorations come out, and then all the memories pour out.
Yeah.
And so it's some of that old baggage that we've carried along of family gatherings or whatever it may be that we didn't necessarily enjoy. And so it's like throwing that baggage, off the, I remember one friend of ours that she would get the vision of a hot air balloon, and she would be dropping the baggage out of the hot air balloon as she rose, and they could rise higher when the baggage was dropped. So I thought that was a good vision to go with, because it does help.
Yeah.
Because you are a detriment to yourself. If you're a detriment to yourself, you're a detriment to humanity, a detriment to the God within.
Yeah.
And so do remember that, and do your best to get your consciousness out of the poor me, or I'm stressed, I am scared, I am all the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, and sometimes that stuff is not even yours. It's not even your memories. You're tapping into the collective unconscious. It's like this time of year dredges up a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So sometimes we just pull that energy in, not realizing what we're doing until we're all caught up in it and everything has started to turn sour. And so that's when it's time to go into action and not only help ourselves, but by using that column of light, but for whomever may be willing to accept it, put it in place for everyone to take advantage of.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about now because of, people shopping, and it's not all online. A lot of it is, because it seems to be easy. Yeah, when you're out, and I got to remind myself this as I'm mentioning this now, and that is to look other people in the eye and smile.
Yeah.
You just acknowledge them. That's all. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you may say hi or whatever, and but it's an acknowledgement of them, which is also part of you.
Yeah.
Because we're in this together.
That's right.
So, anyway, so remember, in the coming days, we shall witness changes in our skies. And we already are seeing that. A lot of changes in our skies.
Mm-hmm.
Awful lot of the bright colors, the rainbow colors, and different places. I mean, it's all over the place. And formations in the sky, and what look like angelic beings in the sky, and rings in the sky. I saw something on my phone today about a ring in the sky. So there's just all kinds of things going on. And I think I did see a ship yesterday, and it was quite large, and it was glowing white light. And I turned to walk into my garage and turned around to look at it again, and it was gone. And so I was like, oh, So it's like,
that was what I thought it was.
Yes, it's like, hi guys. But anyway, they're around us, and the ships are showing themselves. And because of what's happening here, I know we've talked about this before, but it's just daily. All you do is have to look, or if you feel, you may feel other presences, and be it in the sky. And if it feels good, then welcome them in. If it doesn't, then you just say no. And so that is still going on. There are some of these dark ones that still try to get our attention, that those that are not in the physical, or they're using the consciousness. So you just say no, and don't let them in. So, but there's a wonderful light people out there, and become that shining light. We are.
That's really what
the
we
New
are.
Jerusalem.
Yeah, that's really what we are when we're true to ourselves.
Yeah.
True to our own being. We're a magnificent being.
Yeah. And you can be nothing less.
That's right.
Yeah. One of my books, I remember, and it stuck with me. You are divine. You can be no less.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, get over yourself. I love what you're saying.
Yeah, stop playing the old play that was put in place, maybe not by you, but you stepped into the part. So maybe you don't want to play that part anymore.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's time, guys. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode. Things are getting even, what's the right word? Exciting.
Very active.
Active, exciting, and yeah, well, I won't go there. I know what I was going to say. OS moment. So, but that's okay. And then you go on, and as we're going to find out things about some people that we were a little bit surprised at, and about people playing different roles. Just that we're playing different roles. But I feel a story is being played out there that many things have already happened, but the story is unfolding so humanity can take it in a little bit slower than all at once. However, tonight I got or earlier today, talking about rightful full disclosure, and I went, whoa, okay. So anyway, hang on, hold on. And really have fun this holiday season. And I know if you get a little melancholy, maybe start looking at it a little bit differently. And look at the lights, like light on a Christmas tree. You're one of those lights. And you look at it as a festival of lights, as is the solstice that's coming up on the 21st. So it's the return of the light. That's what it stands for, and hence the Christmas season, I think, all derived out of that, even though they say it's the birth of Christ, but it's the birth of Christ within us, which is already us. Sure hope I'm making sense on that. All right. Do you have more to say?
Yes. I wish for you all, the biggest present that I could think of is for peace to be realized within you and all around you. And I hope everybody has a very pleasant holiday season. Please remember your neighbors, remember your family. If you don't have any family, we're all one great big family. You're never alone.
And if you want to be with others, reach out.
That's right.
Don't be shy about it.
Yeah.
Well, our next episode is going to be on the 27th. If anybody wants to listen live with us or have any questions, and it's usually put up onto YouTube. We have a gentleman that does that for us, and sometimes it takes a couple of days to get that up. So you'll see it at the end of the month, and it's going to be exciting as to what happens between now and then. If you have any questions for Royce or myself, or even Terry, you can call the number 864-999-3008. Again, that's 864-999-3008. We wish you all a wonderful holiday season, and we'll talk to you after Christmas, before New Year's. So, wow, new times.
Yes. Just remember that we love you very much. Thank you for staying.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.